I think we get to a point on our awakening journey where we start to get really honest with ourselves about what's authentic to us and what beliefs we have that were programmed into our subconscious. I know I've done this all throughout my self-awareness and self-healing journey, just kind of really tapping into what are these limiting beliefs? What are these things that I've been told about myself and about the world? And what is actually authentic to me? What really excites me? What really lights me up? And I'm finding that the deeper I go on this journey, the more I realize how easily influenced I am by my peers, the content I consume, and my surroundings. So in search of new ways to sell my offers and empower you on your journey, I started studying books on neuromarketing, and what I found has changed so much about what I know about myself, and that's what I want to share with you and arm you with today. One of my favorite books that I've found so far on neuromarketing has been Biology: The Truth and Lies About Why We Buy by Martin Lindstrom. And in this book, Lindstrom explores how neuroscience reveals how we're sold things on that subconscious level. If you didn't already know, advertising is a $1 billion industry. So of course, they have hired the top psychologists and neuroscientists in the world to help make this all happen and sell billions of dollars worth of products and services. The biggest takeaway that I got from reading this book was when I learned about the fact that our brains have mirror neurons. What the heck are mirror neurons? I'm really glad that you asked. Mirror neurons are special brain cells that help us understand and connect with people. They literally mirror what we see others doing or feeling. So for an example, if you see somebody smiling, those neurons right away start to fire in your brain as if you were smiling. That helps you understand that that person's happy and feel what they're feeling. These mirror neurons are why we get so pulled into movies and content that we see online. They really allow us to experience what the characters are going through. I mean, just think of all the times that you've cried or just felt so overjoyed in watching something happen to somebody else. These mirror neurons, I've learned, are a blessing and a curse because they have helped us evolve into highly social and empathic learners. But the curse comes when the advertising industry figured all of this out because they realized that they could sell us products by mirroring impactful experiences that other people are having with that product. So if we see other people looking good, feeling happy, solving a problem, or just thriving with a product, then our mirror neurons automatically say, hey, we need this in our lives. And the thing is, all of this goes down on a subconscious level. Hundreds of times a day, your mirror neurons are firing different thoughts and beliefs and programming your brain. So now when I think about my subconscious vulnerability to this mirror effect, I recognize how it goes way beyond the things that I'm just being sold. This seriously has the power to affect the person that I am in any given moment. Just for yourself right now, think of a time when you've been totally brought down by somebody's crappy attitude or a bad mood. Or maybe even a time when you just watched a video online that made you feel sick to your stomach. Well, thanks to our mirror neurons, we will automatically take on those emotions of our peers, the content we consume, and our surroundings. Our brains do this with love. They just want to keep us safe, help us fit in among our tribe, and help us evolve. So today, my goal is to arm you with the self-awareness you need to use this to your advantage, because this is what empowerment means to me. So let's take a look at how our mirror neurons can affect the ways that we interact with and feel when we're around our peer groups. So by peer groups, I'm referring to our family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers, the people that we interact with every single day. If we are allowing ourselves to get sucked into negative conversations with these people, it is absolutely going to bring us down and help us form limiting beliefs about ourselves and the world around us. I remember when I worked at my 9-to-5. There were some days where it felt like the common denominator between all of the coworkers were just the ways that we would bond about how we didn't like our boss or we just weren't being paid enough. It was like misery loved company, and the disgruntled employees just loved getting together and talking about how disgruntled they were. It's too bad because when I first got hired, I was young, fresh out of college, and I was so excited to just be there, have the opportunity, and get to do the work that I was doing. But I remember just as time went on, and after I found myself overhearing so many conversations about how the company might not have been the best company or how we weren't being treated fairly, I myself started to just believe these things to be true and found I was adopting a more pessimistic outlook on the environment that I was in. Before I knew it, I became a disgruntled employee myself, and I started to contribute and mirror that back to the people that I was working with. And this same thing can happen when we hang out with friends who have low self-esteem or a crappy outlook on life. I like to call these people energy vampires because they really can bring us down, and we just feel it within us when we're around these types of people. But of course, we'll still just make up excuses for them and try to justify why we hang out with them. Maybe it's because they're family. Maybe it's because we've been friends with them for so many years, or maybe because we know they're going through a hard time and we feel bad for them. But at the end of the day, we know that these people do not make us feel good, and we leave their presence feeling much less motivated and inspired than we were when we first went in there in the first place. So how do we use this knowledge of mirror neurons to our advantage when it comes to the peers that we surround ourselves with? I think that the answer lies in the fact that we need to make a conscious effort to surround ourselves with people who are doing the things we want to be doing, or people who just make us feel good about the world. But most importantly, I think we also need to mirror that to the people that we interact with as well. We need to be that light that is out there and that is inspiring people too. This is one of the reasons why I prioritize intentional networking events. I find that every time I walk into a room full of like-minded people who are also dedicated towards their personal growth and goals, I feed off of that energy and the conversations just hit differently. It's like all of a sudden, if we are just surrounding ourselves with people who are doing bigger things than what we know to be possible for ourselves, then we begin to level up and raise the bar of what we know we are capable of. The same thing goes for connecting with mentors who have accomplished the goals that we're looking to accomplish. Those mentors can mirror to us what is possible within ourselves and help us form those same new beliefs that nurture our expansion. When we bring this type of awareness to the ways that we are interacting with our peers, all of a sudden we see how we really do have control over the way that we're feeling and the conversations that we're having. We really can empower ourselves just by bringing all of this to a conscious level. So now let's look at the content we consume. Man, I really think we haven't even come close to tapping into the psychological effects that social media is having over our society. We really are just a living social experiment, walking guinea pigs of all of this right now. So in taking what we know about how mirror neurons affect our emotions and our brains, let's look at the power that they have over us when we're doom scrolling on our phones or binge watching crime docs. If you haven't stopped watching crime docs already, I really hope that what I'm about to say to you helps you to stop doing it, because I know I had to cut that out right away. I recognized it was really causing me harm. So let's talk about this. When we're taking in all of this information on a subconscious level, our brains are filling our beliefs and nervous system with whatever it sees. Our mirror neurons really can't tell the difference between whether or not that experience is happening to us or outside of us. All they're doing is just feeling it all and programming it into our subconscious. So if we're consuming content that makes us feel fear, then we are now bringing that fear into our reality. It did not exist before we saw that video or we felt that emotion. It's almost like we're programming our brains to feel fear just by watching fear. And then all of a sudden now, because of our mirror neurons and the way that we interact with our peer group and our surroundings, we're now projecting those fear thoughts out into the world and bringing it to life. Thanks to crime documentaries, we've taught ourselves to fear our neighbors. And thanks to modern day advertising, we've taught ourselves that we are not enough. So how do we empower ourselves with this information now that we know that the content we're consuming is being programmed into our belief system and our brains on a subconscious level? I think what we need to do is we need to start controlling what the heck we allow in and what we allow to program us. If something makes you feel fear, doubt yourself, or feel like the world is not so great, then turn it off. You have the power to do that. Walk away, put the phone down, do something else. And when you're following accounts or choosing what movies you want to put on, choose ones that are going to have a positive effect on your mirror neurons. So maybe choose something that's inspiring, educational, or makes you feel happy. Watch people who are accomplishing the goals that you want to accomplish so that you can form new beliefs around them being possible for yourself too. Now let's apply what we know about mirror neurons to our surroundings as well. Look, I get that we don't always have control over our surroundings and what's going on in our space or even the people that we surround ourselves with. Bills need to get paid, and sometimes we get stuck living in situations and living with people even who are not in alignment with how we want to feel. And as a result, that just kind of can make us feel like garbage sometimes. So how do we empower ourselves through this? How do we take control of our surroundings? Have you ever felt like when your space is a mess, your head is a mess too? I know I'm a mom of 2 toddlers, so for me, it's easy to get overstimulated when I stop and take a look at the total chaos that is my house sometimes. And I know that when I'm in a dark place, the first thing that I need to do is get my house in order. This has brought me out of so many cyclical lows and depressive moments. So if you find yourself living in clutter or living in a disorganized space, I definitely encourage you to just start by clearing things up and getting organized. Think about it, all the extra brain power that we have to use just to keep tabs on where little things are in a messy room. If we just have things in that organized space, it really can just give us a sense of calmness and help us let go of some of those extra thoughts that we have buffering in the background of our minds. We can just be at peace knowing that things are where they're supposed to be. And when we look around, we don't feel distracted by any type of mess. So now what do we do about those people who come with our surroundings? I know I can't stop my messy kids from being messy, and I can't exactly kick my toddlers out of the house. And I know that when I was working my 9 to 5, I also could not stop my coworkers from being disgruntled. So what can we do to empower ourselves in these moments where the people in our surroundings are just totally killing the vibe? We can change the subject. We can ask questions that promote positive conversations, and we can mirror the good that we want to see in others to those that we find ourselves stuck with. As we've learned, thanks to our mirror neurons, when we see someone smiling, we can feel their happiness. So that means if we walk around being that person who smiles at everyone, then we are making a difference in the happiness of others. We are actually raising the vibration of every room that we walk into and everywhere that we go. So if we also share thoughts of gratitude, love, and inspired outlooks on life within these surroundings and with the people we're interacting with, then we are now going to start to improve the environment that's around us. We need to take responsibility for the energy that we put into the world as well. We can't be mad at the world for not being a beautiful place if we are not contributing to its beauty. So now I want to leave you with some neuromarketing tips that I think can help support you. Let's think, how can we use neuromarketing to support our brand and our business goals? I've got 2 solutions for you. The first one is to use storytelling and visuals that show the results that people will get from whatever it is that you have to offer. But let's do this in an ethical way where you are being honest and you're also not bringing people down or making them feel like they're not enough for not having what you have. And the second one is to create emotional and relatable content that resonates with your audience's values and goals. make them feel something. The more you make them feel something, the more that their mirror neurons are going to go off, and the more that they're going to just program their subconscious brain to want to work with you or have what it is that you have to offer. But most importantly, I really just want you to remember that you are in control of everything. You're in control of what goes in, and you're in control of what goes out, thus creating the reality and the space and the world around you that you live in. So I hope you can make good, empowered choices and be that light, because the world needs you right now. If you found this information helpful, I would be so grateful if you could like it, subscribe to it, and give me all those stars wherever it is that you're listening, because seriously, that helps me grow my business. And most importantly, I just want to say that I believe in you, and I am here to empower you on this journey, because this is the same kind of energy that I want mirrored back to me. So that's what I'm going to keep putting out there. I'm here for you, and I will see you next time. This is only the beginning for us.